Right now, at this very moment, 53,000 fans are packed inside MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. Billions more are watching on screens across 200 countries. And somewhere in a boardroom in Zurich, Switzerland, FIFA is counting money. The 2026 FIFA World Cup will generate $10.9 billion. That is more than the entire GDP of Iceland. More than what 70 countries on this planet produce in an entire year. And yet, the player who trains every day of his life, who sacrifices his body, his family, his health, for the chance to stand on that pitch, he will see almost none of it. Today, we are following the money. Every single dollar. From FIFA's vault in Zurich, to the TV networks in New York and London, to the sponsors paying hundreds of millions for 30 seconds of your attention, to the clubs, the federations, and yes, finally, to the players. This is the 2026 World Cup, not the version they show you on the pitch, the version that actually matters. How FIFA built the most valuable sporting event in history. Let us start with some context. In 2006, Germany World Cup, FIFA generated $3.3 billion. In 2022, Qatar, that number had grown to $7 billion. In 2026, Sports Value, one of the world's leading football finance research firms, projects total revenue will exceed $10.9 billion. A 56% increase in just 4 years. But this is not luck. This was a calculated business decision. In 2018, FIFA voted to expand the World Cup from 32 teams to 48. They called it inclusivity. Let us be honest, it was about one thing: more matches. 32 teams meant 64 matches. 48 teams means 104 matches. 62% more football. 62% more broadcast slots. 62% more advertising breaks. 62% more money. And then they chose North America as host. 11 US cities, 3 Mexican cities, 2 Canadian cities. 16 stadiums, all already built. 0 construction costs. This is something people do not talk about enough. Qatar spent $220 billion building infrastructure for 2022. The 2026 hosts? Pre-existing NFL stadiums. The SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles. MetLife in New Jersey. Hard Rock in Miami. FIFA walks into a ready-made commercial machine and keeps almost all the revenue for itself. Here is where the money comes from. Broadcasting rights. $4.2 billion, the largest in World Cup history according to Sports Value. Sponsorship. $2.8 billion, also the largest ever. Ticketing and hospitality, up to $3 billion, a 216% increase from Qatar. Licensing and digital, the rest. According to research firm Ampere Analysis, the US market alone drove 94% growth in broadcast rights value compared to 2022. Fox Sports and Telemundo in America. ITV and BBC in the United Kingdom, ARD and ZDF in Germany, DAZN across Italy, Japan and Spain. These networks paid billions, and Fox Sports is reportedly charging advertisers between $600,000 and $800,000 for a single 30-second commercial during the final. 1. Commercial break. The fan pays for a subscription, the advertiser pays for 30 seconds. and FIFA collects from both ends. Welcome to the machine. What the players actually get and what nobody tells you now. The prize money. FIFA announced the largest prize pool in World Cup history. $871 million, nearly double the $440 million paid out in Qatar 2022. On the surface, this sounds incredible, but let us follow this money carefully, because the story gets darker the deeper you go. Here is the official breakdown, confirmed by FIFA in May 2026 at the Council meeting in Vancouver, Canada. Every team that qualifies receives $12.5 million, just for showing up. Teams eliminated in the group stage earn a total of $21.5 million. Round of 32 exits take $23.5 million. Quarterfinalists earn $19 million in performance prize money, plus their guaranteed base. Third place, $29 million. Runner-up, $33 million. And the winner, the team that lifts the trophy on July 19th at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, takes home $50 million. $50 million for the greatest achievement in football, the pinnacle of the sport. Now, Kylian Mbappe earns $70 million per year at Real Madrid. That is $1.35 million per week. Every week in, week out. So if France win the World Cup and Mbappe lifts that trophy, his individual share of the winning prize will not cover even half of his weekly salary. But it gets worse. That $50 million does not go to the players. It goes to the National Federation. FIFA confirmed this. The money is paid to the French Football Federation, the English FA, the Brazilian CBF, not the players. Each federation then decides, based on their own internal agreements, how much of that money reaches the actual squad. According to FIFA's own data, most federations pass between 20 and 30% of performance prize money to players and staff. Run the math on a $50 million Champions Prize. Players and staff receive between $10 million and $15 million, shared across a squad of 26, plus coaches and support staff. Best case scenario, each player earns approximately $500,000. Worst case, less. Mbappe earns that in about 2.5 days. The glory is theirs. The billions belong to someone else. And speaking of billions belonging to someone else, there is one part of this story almost nobody reports. While the players chase glory, their clubs are cashing in quietly. FIFA has allocated $355 million under the Club Benefits Program, paid directly to clubs for releasing their players to the tournament. Real Madrid, who could have over a dozen players at World Cup 2026 across multiple national teams, they stand to receive tens of millions of dollars without playing a single match, without any risk, without any glory, just for allowing their employees to represent their countries. The clubs. Always the clubs. Why $1.56 billion isn't always enough. Now let us talk about the squads themselves. Because the financial imbalance at this World Cup is unlike anything we have ever seen before. According to transfer market data, France have arrived in North America with the most valuable squad ever assembled at a FIFA World Cup, €1.56 billion. Their average player value, €60 million per player. 5 players valued at over €100 million. Kylian Mbappe leading the way. At the other end of the table, Jordan, making their World Cup debut in 2026. Total squad value, €20.3 million. That means France's squad is worth 77 times more than Jordan, 77 times. The gap between them? €1.54 billion. To put that in perspective, that gap alone is larger than the entire squad value of 44 of the 48 teams at this tournament. According to Planet Football's analysis of all 48 squads at World Cup 2026, England, €1.38 billion. Spain, over €1 billion. Portugal, €1.04 billion. Brazil, €912 million. Germany, €947 million. Then, at the very bottom, Qatar, €19.93 million. Curacao, €25.78 million. Iraq, €21.2 million. Jordan, €20.3 million. 14 teams at this World Cup have a combined squad value of under €100 million. Those 14 squads combined, still worth less than France alone. But here is the most important thing money cannot buy at this tournament: results. Portugal, with a squad valued at over €1 billion and Cristiano Ronaldo on the pitch earning $230 million a year, were held to a 1-1 draw by DR Congo, a nation that had not played a World Cup since 1974. A squad valued at just €143.9 million. DR Congo not only held Portugal, they outshot them. More shots on goal, more XG, more chances. And they scored the first World Cup goal in their country's history off a corner kick in Houston, Texas. The stadium erupted. Canada, valued at €203 million, crushed Qatar 6-0. Qatar, the wealthiest nation per capita on Earth. A country that spent $220 billion to host the 2022 World Cup. A country where oil and gas make citizens richer than most footballers. But their squad? €19.93 million. And the scoreboard showed the truth. 6 goals, 0 reply. This is the paradox that makes football different from every other business on Earth. You can spend $1 billion building a squad. You can buy every player, hire every coach, run every statistic. And still, on a Tuesday night in Houston, a nation that hasn't been to the World Cup in 52 years walks onto your pitch and makes you look ordinary. Money matters in football, but it cannot buy magic. The sponsors, the networks, and the ones who never touch a ball. We have talked about FIFA, about the prize money, about the squads. Now let us talk about the real winners, the ones who never set foot on a pitch, the ones who never feel the pressure of a penalty shootout, the ones who collect their returns in quarterly financial reports. The sponsors. FIFA sells sponsorship across 3 tiers. Tier 1, FIFA Partners, the elite. Companies like Adidas, Coca-Cola, Visa, Hyundai. These deals are estimated at above $95 million each. Tier 2, World Cup sponsors. Companies paying between $51 million and $75 million per deal. Tier 3, Regional supporters. And for the first time in World Cup history, all 16 global sponsorship positions were sold out. Every single slot, full. According to research firm Ampere Analysis, confirmed by SportsPro, total sponsorship revenue for 2026 is projected at $2.4 billion, a 37% increase on Qatar 2022. And here is the most striking detail. US-based brands alone account for 52% of all sponsorship revenue. up from 36% in Qatar. New entrants like DoorDash and Bank of America joined historic sponsors. Because the World Cup, hosted in America, is now the most commercially accessible event in sports history. Then there are the broadcasters. Fox Sports and Telemundo in the United States, ITV and BBC in the United Kingdom, free-to-air reaching tens of millions, Deutsche Telekom and ARD ZDF in Germany, DAZN across Italy, Japan and Spain. According to Telemundo's own ad sales team, 90% of their advertising inventory was sold by December 2025, 6 months before the tournament even started. Advertiser spend on Telemundo for World Cup 2026 double the Qatar 2022 level. The reason? The fastest growing commercial demographic in the United States, the Latino market, described by Telemundo's executives as the economic engine shaping the future of sports and culture in America. And at the top of this entire pyramid sits FIFA, the governing body of world football. Headquartered at FIFA-Strasse 20 in Zurich, Switzerland. As of 2025, according to European Business magazine, FIFA's total assets had risen 54% to $9.48 billion, a non-profit organization with $9.48 billion in assets. FIFA President Gianni Infantino has already confirmed plans to stand for re-election. And if the 2026 World Cup delivers on its revenue projections, his position will be the most secure in world football. The fans pay for tickets, the viewers pay subscriptions, the advertisers pay billions for their attention, and FIFA collects from every layer. This is not cynicism. This is simply how the business of football works. And the people at the center of it are not the ones wearing boots. What the World Cup is really worth. So let us come back to the question we started with. Where does $10.9 billion go? FIFA keeps the largest share, covering operations, development, and executives in Zurich. The clubs receive $355 million just for releasing their players. The broadcasters collect advertising billions, Fox, Telemundo, BBC, DAZN, across 200 territories. The sponsors write their largest checks in history. Adidas, Coca-Cola, Visa, $2.4 billion combined. The federations receive prize money and pass between 20 and 30% down to the players. And the players? The ones running on grass at MetLife Stadium in New Jersey. The ones who collapsed from exhaustion in the Houston heat. The ones who haven't seen their families for weeks. They receive a fraction, a trophy, and something no amount of money can purchase, the glory. And perhaps that is exactly why billions of people watch. Not for the business, not for the numbers, but because no amount of money, no transfer fee, no sponsorship deal can manufacture the moment when a ball hits the back of the net in the 90th minute of a World Cup final. That is the real World Cup 2026. And that is the story we will keep telling. Follow the Football Extra Live for the money stories behind the game.